The race for Nigeria's next president is heating up, and the political parties with presidential aspirants have started a horse race of campaigning across states to win the votes of Nigerians. A lot has happened in the past few days. Let's focus on the three main political parties. First, it was a PDP presidential aspirant, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, declaring in Kaduna before a group of northern political leaders under the Arewa Joint Committee at Arewa House that the North should shun southern candidates in next year's presidential election, a statement that has not gone down well with many, including the embattled River State Governor Nyesom Wike, who has asked Atiku to tender an apology to Nigerians.
Second is the All Progressives Congress presidential candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who on Monday threw a jab at his main contender and presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, for playing the ethnic card ahead of the 2023 presidential election. Tinubu, at an interactive session with the Arewa Joint Committee, which was held at the Arewa House, Kaduna, on Monday, said that the PDP presidential candidate ought to have endorsed him, having supported him in 2007 for the presidency, instead of competing with him for the same position. He says, and I quote, "It's payback time. Let Atiku endorse me instead of campaigning in Kaduna. I supported him in 2007, he added.
Well, third, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party and former governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, on Monday said he would rescue Nigeria from its failed state situation if elected president in 2023. This is coming hot on the heels of a controversy surrounding the formation of its presidential campaign council and a few other things. Now, joining us is the party spokesperson of the Peter Obi Presidential Campaign Council, a lawyer and actor, Dr. Kenneth Okonkwo. Thanks for joining us, Dr. Okonkwo. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, let's quickly just get your thoughts on what's happened in the last few days. You know, the statements by Atiku Abubakar that, of course, have come under heavy criticism, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu also, asking that Atiku step down for him. There's so much, basically, that's happened in the last few days. Is this normal campaign season in Nigeria, or, do you sense something more might be going on?
Well, what happened in the past few days has just summarized all we have been in 2023. What happened in the past few days has shown Nigerians clearly that our problem is that of leadership. How do we get good leaders? The comments of these men have actually exposed who they are. Let's take Atiku, for instance. Atiku, when he was addressing the Northerners, is somebody from the North, not a Yoruba candidate or an Igbo candidate. That is manipulation. When Atiku, he would tell Wike, after me, you will be president. When he's facing the Southeast, he would tell Southeast, after me, you will be the president. When he's facing the North, he will tell the North, after me, you will be. The leadership style is that of manipulation. Let's take Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu said, if anybody tells you there will be a change of government, tell the person, shut up. This is Abiyokuta, and he told them it is the turn of Yorubas to produce the next president. And in Yoruba land, it is my turn, Emilokon. Intimidation. Immediately he won the presidential primary. Right there, when he was making the speech, he told a sitting Senate president, I contest with me, but since you have failed, I will allow you to lick your wounds. Intimidation. So these men are men of intimidation and manipulation. Let's talk about Peter Obi. When Peter Obi was facing Ndigbo, at the risk of losing their vote, he told Ndigbo, do not vote for me because I'm Igbo. Vote for me because I am a man of character. I am a man of competence, and I'm a man of capacity. 2023 is nobody's turn. It is the turn of Nigerians. This is a pan-Nigerian candidate who wants to lead by inspiration. Inspiration means the arousal of the mind and the stimulation of the mind towards a special, unusual activity or creativity, channeled towards achieving a particular objective or solving a particular problem. So we have three candidates: one, an inspirer; one, an intimidator; one, a manipulator. And the definition of leadership, according to Dr. Miles Monroe, is the ability to influence people to a particular direction through inspiration, not manipulation or intimidation. These men have intimidated us and manipulated us enough. 2023, Nigerians are not going to succumb to the blackmail of intimidators and manipulators. We need intimidators to lead us to achieve our desired objectives.
Now let's speak a bit about manipulation, right?
Possible.
Let's speak a bit about manipulation. Of course, we are all aware, we saw the clip where Alhaji Atiku Abubakar had said that the average northern Nigerian, what they need is not an Igbo or Yoruba candidate, but a northern candidate. Now, some of the criticisms that have come against him are based on Section 96 of the Electoral Act that prohibits campaigning against, based on ethnic or religious standpoints. Now, your candidate, Peter Obi, one of the criticisms that people have leveled in defense to what has happened is the fact that he has been appearing in churches and saying to the church, take back your country. Would you maybe classify this as some form of religious manipulation?
Oh, what other thing is the agenda for Nigeria? The church are Nigerians. You have church everywhere, even in Sokoto. The Bishop of Sokoto is Matthew Kuka. So he's telling Nigerians of whatever persuasion, north, south, east or west, Islam, Christian, Muslims, take back your country. 2023 is for Nigerians. That is the bottom line of the message. If you check all the churches he went to speaking that, they are not Catholic churches. He is a born Catholic. Some of them are Pentecostals. Some of them are Presbyterian. So what I am telling you is that the central message is that Nigerians should take back their country, period. And that is what 2023 is all about. He is a pan-Nigerian candidate, and that ticket is going to secure and unite Nigeria in the truest sense of it, not in the manipulative or intimidative sense of it. For what Tinubu and Atiku they are giving us.
Well, we're going to, of course, in the interest of time, have to ask as many of the, top conversations surrounding your party and your candidate at this time. Yesterday, of course, there still was a little bit of controversy with pictures emerging from his visit to Sheikh Gumi. So I want you to quickly, speak on that. They have accused him of facilitating or felicitating rather and, rubbing shoulders with the same persons that Nigerians have, maybe called out as some of the problems that the country has had. So, what would you say in defense of your candidates, still having meetings with persons, of course, like Sheikh Gumi?
Well, in one other interview I granted, I told people that politics is about carrying everybody along. Everybody is needed for a new Nigeria to be possible. And I'll just summarize this. Whatever you may think about Gumi, I want to take you back to the Bible. When Jesus Christ was on earth, he was passing through the street, and a publican in the name of Zacchaeus was there to see him. And he came down and told Zacchaeus, today I will dine with you in your house. And he followed Zacchaeus to his house, and people were murmuring, this man, if he's a man of God, he would have known that this man is a sinner. This man is this man is that. But Jesus told them that a man who is well has no need for a physician, but a man who is sick. Obi has come for every Nigerian, whether you are able or disabled, whether you are rich or poor, whether you are a saint or a sinner. He has the intention of securing and uniting all Nigerians of different shades and colors. Let the sinner repent and become righteous. Let the good become better. Let the bad become good. We do not belong to that category that make rotten things bad. In Tinubu's dictionary, every rotten thing will be made bad. In Obi's dictionary, every rotten thing will be made good, the good better, and the better best. I encourage our candidate to reach out to everybody. Reach out to everybody without exception. That is politics. Government of the people, by the people, for the people. If you look at the people there, there is no definition, there is no discrimination. As long as anybody is willing to hear us out, we will carry the message of unity to that person, and we will preach to that person on what the things he's doing that are not right. And everybody has the capacity by the creation of the Almighty to change. So I support it, and we are willing to talk, to align with everybody who is willing to agree with our agenda for a new Nigeria. A new Nigeria is possible, where a Gumi will become better than he is today, where Kenneth Okonkwo will become better than he is today. In Nigeria, everybody has been tainted by the incompetence and incapability of APC and PDP. We need a new Nigeria, which is only possible, which is only possible, which is only P2B-sible. This is Nigeria of our dream, and everybody should be carried along. Okay.
I'd like you to maybe shed some light on some of the controversies, which we are, that's why we're here today. A recent video, over the weekend, there was conversations about Peter Obi visiting Kaduna State, and the governor did talk about how when he visited Anambra State, Peter Obi detained him, and that unfortunately now that they are Northerners, and that Northerners do not behave that way. Now that video has elicited mixed reactions. Of course, I'd like you maybe to shed some light on that and how that video made you, feel. What you think might have been the position of your candidate?
Well, I'm going to just give you a little story for you to understand what we are facing in this country. When I was made the spokesperson for P2B, everybody in my village was very happy. They were rejoicing. And then one person said, no, Kenneth Okonkwo will not succeed. And they were so mad. And they asked him, why would he say that? He said the reason, because everybody was against him. They say he was jealous. He said no. Kenneth Okonkwo is like my younger brother, and I know him too well. The reason is because he's not a good liar. And since he's not a good liar, he will not succeed. Then they now told him, okay, we understand you. Thank goodness. You don't need to lie in order to support Obi, because Obi is a man of truth. So since Kenneth Okonkwo is a man of truth, he's in the right place. And the truth he will tell Nigeria will make Nigeria free. That Obi is actually looking for truthful people. So the issue here is that APC and PDP have made all their spokespersons to be liars. You can see that some of them have a name that has a rhyme with lie. Even their grandchildren are telling them to their faces that they are lying. For what El-Rufai said, let me tell him about history. On the day he was in Anambra State, he was not there to deliver a lecture. He was not there for a conference organized by Ohanese on Igbo. He was there for election. And DSS considered him a security risk to the free and fair election in Anambra State and detained him. So Obi has nothing to do with it. Obi was fighting for his own election. He was busy going around trying to get people to support his party and to go himself to vote. So you do not compare apple and oranges. In Kaduna, Obi went for a conference organized by a combined team of all the Arewas and their groups. And so there could not have been a situation where you talk about arresting or not. What is El-Rufai doing in Anambra State during the day of election? Akero Dolu warned Wike not to come to Ondo when they are doing election, because maybe they believe that the aura of Wike changes election results, even if he didn't do anything. So the cardinal question is, the DSS certified El-Rufai as a security risk, and they did not even arrest him. They restricted his movement so that peradventure he had anything in mind, by their own security report, he will not be able to carry it out. And after that, he was released. So he was talking about arrest. Sorry. I know that his movement was restricted. And indeed, movements are always restricted during election period. So El-Rufai cannot say that he will not do the same thing to Obi, because there are different times in law. You must distinguish a case from another case if you don't want the facts of that case to apply to the other case. So distinguishing these two situations, El-Rufai was not accurate with the truth, or in comparative analysis, I will score him 0.
All right, Dr. Okonkwo, I also want to ask about, I know, I've read through your 7-point agenda. A couple of Nigerians, I believe, or maybe, a lot of Nigerians have also, seen the 7-point agenda. But a lot of times, we walk towards elections seeing these things, and they eventually just become mere words, and nothing really is, taken from there. If you, also know, looking back at other elections, why should Nigerians trust your candidate and his manifesto and his, of course, his 7-point agenda? Give us any reason.
There was an interference, sorry.
I'm asking, why should Nigerians trust your candidate with his 7-point agenda and his manifesto for Nigerians? Why should Nigerians trust that they will not be failed?
Well, thank you very much for that question. Because I have been failed once by the failed APC with their manifestos that were beautifully written by some brilliant professors, and for which the leaders in APC did not know what we are contained in the manifesto. Obi will not fail because what he said he would do, they are the things he already had done as a democratically elected governor of Anambra State. Like I reeled out the 7-point agenda. Let me, because of time, not reel them out again. But he promised securing and uniting Nigeria. And this he has done in Anambra State admirably well. And like we always say, history is the best teacher. When Oshomole attacked the security credentials of Obi, permit me to say that Oshomole is a man who is very rich in loquacity but very poor in history. Because an Inspector General of Police, Abubakar Mohammed, visited Anambra State and told the whole world on record that Anambra is the most secure state in Nigeria. Right. And this started when Obi came into power. Recall that before Obi came into power, Anambra State was so bad in security that the chairman of the Onitsha Bar Association with the wife were killed and assassinated on the streets of Anambra State. When Obi came in, IGP said that no bank robbery succeeded in Obi's tenure.
Dr. Kenneth Okonkwo, unfortunately,
yes,
we've run out of time. We've run out of time, but we'd like to have you again because there are several angles to this conversation that we need to explore. So please oblige us when we invite you one more time. Thank you so much for joining us today on Breakfast Central.